My name is Lance Dees.
My name is Carl Goodnight.
Jerry Gober.
I'm Wayne Coble, and I teach 6th grade social studies here at the middle school.
I am Sergeant Samuel Scott.
Sanford Grimmick, call me Short.
This is PSG RDJ Armstrong, retired Army.
I was Sergeant E5, Vernon Elder.
Petty Officer, 3rd Class, Jamie Alberts.
I am a captain in the Missouri National Guard, and I served as a lieutenant in the United States Army.
Started out as a private, ended up as a E5 sergeant. Served from 87 to 89 for 2 years active, and then 5 years after that in the reserve unit or National Guard unit.
I was in the United States Army from 1966 to 1968.
I spent about 8.5 years in the Army. First 4 years that I was in, I was a utilities equipment repairman, and the last 4.5 years that I was in, I was a combat engineer.
With the Missouri National Guard, I've been enlisted for 16 and a half years, enlisting in January of 1999 to current, and I am assigned as an engineer.
I entered the service in December 1948. I finally retired after recovery in 1969.
My job title was Supply Sergeant. I was in for 8 years, 1 year in Vietnam.
I was in supply.
In my first 2 years, I was a bosun mate, which means I got to operate cranes and drive boats and things like that. And in my second 2 years, I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, so I became a postal clerk. So I got to work in the post office on my ship.
My job in the Army was tanks, was in armor unit, and in the artillery unit I was actually a forward observer.
First 4 years that I was in, I was a utilities equipment repairman, and the last 4.5 years that I was in, I was a combat engineer.
I am in an engineering unit that does heavy construction and earth moving.
So we provided support for infantry soldiers that were going out in the field.
I was Supply Sergeant, and I operated different units, supplying them with the equipment that they needed to work with.
And I served in Korea, Vietnam, 2 tours of Germany. I survived the wounds that was put upon me because the doctor in the field hospital and doctors in the United States has told me that man was a master at what he did. And I'm here looking and talking right now because that master put me together, and he solved it all when he said, "The man up here likes you."
Why did you enlist?
Well, it was either enlist or be drafted at that time when they had the draft. And I enlisted to be able to get into the field that I wanted to work in.
I didn't enlist. I was drafted by the Selective Service. Back in that time, they had a Selective Service, and if your number came up, you went to the Army.
I had a lot of family that was in the military. Some were in the Marine Corps, some were in the Army, but most of it was Navy. So when I decided I wanted to do something after high school, I wanted to go into the military because my family had, and also I needed money for college, and my family didn't have a lot of money, so it was a good way to pay for college, and it was a good way to get out of the house and kind of learn how to be an adult.
Why did you enlist?
I enlisted to serve my country.
I wanted to serve my country, and I wanted an honorable profession that would help me take care of my family.
Truthfully, I enlisted because I had no idea what to do after high school. I just looking for a direction.
What workplace skills, life skills did you acquire during the time you served?
since I taught in the supply school, I've probably improved my public speaking skills and patient skills. Then when I was overseas, I worked in a big supply depot and learned how to operate a lot of machines.
It really focuses you, makes you focus, makes you want to do your best all the time.
I learned that you better take care of yourself.
Grew up a lot after I enlisted. A lot. Big change. Became a responsible human being instead of just a nasty little boogerhead. I actually, workplace and life skills, learned what it means to be on time, do what I'm supposed to do, and be responsible.
Teamwork. I mean, when you're in the military, you know, you're not just working for yourself, but you're working for a group of people. If you're in the Navy, you know, it's people in your department, you know, people on your ship. You're working, you know, your actions affect others, so you have to really be thinking about other people. And so big teamwork skills, you know, and just a desire to do something well, just, you know, personally for yourself, not, you know, and for your group, your ship to do well, having pride in your organization.
That there's people in the platoon that you learn to depend on, and you trust them.
I learned how much I didn't know and how much more I could do to help people abroad and here in the homes.
I acquired skills setting up satellite equipment and radio equipment and computer networks, and I acquired skills dealing with a wide range of people. There's people from all over the world serve in our Army, and that's an experience that you don't get at most companies that you go to work for.
What is something you want all middle school students to know or understand about our servicemen and women?
Our servicemen and women enjoy the support. We love the looks and the respect we get from children. We enjoy to see kids smiling, and when they see soldiers, just enjoying the moment there.
Get to join it, and we all fight for our freedom.
The men, listen, the men and the women in the military deserve the credit they're getting.
The majority of people in the Army are very good people, and that they care very greatly about their country, and that they're working hard to keep us safe.
They're the reason why you have the lifestyle you have. If it wasn't for them, you would be living in a world where you really couldn't do the things that you want to do. The opportunities that are out there are because of the people who have gone before us. So,
if you're chosen or you desire to go serve our country, you should do it. There's a lot of advantages to going because you learn a lot of trades and get a lot of education.
They sacrifice a lot, time away from family, time away from friends, even time away from civilian life. Like when I was in the Army, we'd go out for 3, 4, 6, 8 months at a shot, and come home and you're like, ice water is great, you know. It's the little things, hot shower, you know, food that it's not dehydrated.
The last thing, you know, that I'll talk about with veterans that I want everybody to realize is, you know, all the freedoms we have, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, even just the freedoms we have on a Sunday. We're sitting down, we're enjoying a football game with our family, or, you know, going to church, or even just being here in school. You know, most people don't think about, most people aren't scared when we're in class and I'm teaching and you're learning. You know, Dr. Ragsdale's down here doing his job. We're not usually always living in fear every day. That's a good thing, and that's because we know that we have a military that's got our backs. There's somewhere out there that's protecting us. All the rest of us are able to enjoy our lives.